Man, Lee Corso
Wow.
retiring from College Game Day after 38 years.
I'm getting old, boys. I'm
I
24. I
mean,
feel 40
I
now.
mean, here's a statement from Lee Corso. My family and I will be forever indebted for the opportunity to be a part of ESPN and College Game Day for nearly 40 years. I have a treasure of many friends, fond memories, and some unusual experiences to take with me into retirement. Sad, but at the same time, hey, thank you, Lee Corso, for all the great entertainment, especially with the college football, the celebrity guests. Whenever they made the bad picks or something, you would say, "Not so fast, my friend." I love Lee Corso, especially with the Ohio State Buckeyes, the headgear that he was wearing, the Ducks. Oh man, Lee Corso, man, he just made it so exciting, and he was one of the reasons why I got back into watching college football, as well as my stepfather. Because when I was like 13, 14, 15, I was just NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA. But my stepfather, Joe, shout out to Joe, he told me, nah, you need to go watch some college football. You need to go check out the atmosphere. And when you got a guy like a Lee Corso, I mean, the fans, the connection, the way he has with that fan base, man, is just something. And when he wears the headgears or the catchphrases, I mean, he and Dick Vitale, I mean, you got Lee Corso for college football, Dick Vitale for college basketball.
Yes.
What they have meant to
Yes.
college sports in general, it's something to behold. And thank you for giving us all the great work. And you will be truly missed, man. Big homie, world champ.
Hey, Lee Corso, thank you for all the great memories, man. And huge shout out to Kurt Herbstreit for, as we all know, Lee Corso was getting up there in age, and the person who was looking after him the most was Kurt Herbstreit. So huge shout
Yes.
out to him, man. So huge shout out to Kurt Herbstreit because, if you was looking at it from behind the scenes, was got love kind of pulling the curtain back. They say that Kurt Herbstreit definitely looked out for the Coach Corsi. Um, let's not forget now, although he was to college football game day what Chris Berman is to Monday Night Football, in my humble opinion. But let's not forget the contribution that he made to the USFL as well,
Mm-hmm.
because he was a huge part of coaching in the USFL. Although it lasted for a year, his influence caused eyeballs to come to the USFL. So let's not forget all the contributions. He coached in college football himself. He coached in the USFL, which later, the USFL, all of the players, when it folded the first time, all of the players ended up going to the NFL, and a lot of Hall of Famers became of that. But he was also a very much of a catalyst for the USFL as well. So let's not forget that. And look, Lee Corso, like I said, it seems like all the legends are slowly but surely leaving us. Everyone that we grew up that revolutionized the sports entertainment business. Think about John Madden, Chris Berman, Stuart Scott, Dick Vitale, now Lee Corso. When you say Fox, NFL Fox, the first thing you think about is John Madden.
As well as the great Pat Summerall.
Yes, those two put Fox on the map. When you think about Monday Night Live, first thing you think about, no matter who else was on the cast, first thing you think about, Chris Berman. When you think about college basketball, the first thing you think about is Dick Vitale. When you think about NBA or NBC, the first two names you think about is Bob Costas and Marv Albert. When you think about college football and college game day, no matter who else was on that cast, the first person who you think about is Lee Corso. And that is a legacy that cannot be beaten. When a show pops in your brain and the first person that you think about is them, that says more about you than any social media following can ever get you. Because like I said, if you're my age, when you think about NFL Fox, you think about John Madden. You automatically think about that. And as time went on, you start thinking about Ted Bradshaw. You start thinking about Howie Long. You start thinking about guys like that. You cannot think about college football and the Saturday morning lead up to the big game without thinking about Lee Corso. You can't. You can't if you tried. And look, part of getting older is understanding that things have to change, but these shows that we watch as we get older, as the years go by, that's what keeps the nostalgia going. That's what keeps the nostalgia going. And seeing Lee Corso every single Saturday for the past umpteen years was something to behold. The entertainment value that he brought, the knowledge that he brought, some of
the joy,
the
joy. Oh, he brought a lot of joy.
Yeah, a lot of joy. But some of the upsets that he would bring up, and it's just like, wow. Like I said, when your name is synonymous with something, you cannot take that away from anyone. That's more than any, especially when you think about the way that he did it before the social media era. I'm not going to say it's easy to get a name out there now, but because it's not. But back then, when your eyeballs was on the television all day long for college football, and you saw those big names, the John Maddens, the Pat Summeralls, the Howard Cosell, the Dick Vitale, those guys, and then you thought about Lee Corso and you could put them in the conversation with them as well, that's something that no following can buy. And that's amazing, man. Coach Corso, hell of a career. We enjoyed you. We thank you. We salute you. And the years that you've given us and the impact that you've had on so many people would never, ever be forgotten. And huge, like I said earlier, huge shout out to Kirk Herbstreit. Thank you for looking after the coach the way you did.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for looking after them, because guess what? We needed them here every single. Having him on college football Saturday every single year thus far is something to behold, man. And it seems like we lost two legends this year as far as on television is concerned. Because remember, he wasn't the first to retire, man. Remember, Jimmy Johnson had his farewell tour and he retired. So first, Jimmy Johnson, who's been a mainstay at Fox for so many years. Now Lee Corso, who's a living legend. So congratulations to those two magnificent gentlemen, man. The impact that you've had on sports and entertainment, not just in college, but the USFL, would never be forgotten.
Boy, man, it tells us, champ, that we've been blessed with so much great talent that we've had in some of these major networks, ESPN, Fox, CBS, and so much more, man. And of course, unfortunately, he passed away, the late, great Greg Gumbel. And man, I still miss him. March Madness, so much more, man. But I love watching Lee Corso every morning, like 14, 15 years old, getting up straight from bed, having my cinnamon toast crunch, just listening to Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit on College Game Day. That was fun back in them days when you were a kid. But Grant or BRF, whoever wants to go.
I'll go.
You go.
Mm-hmm. College Game Day has just been one of those staples of the whole sport as a whole. And I know the show has a lot of people think the show is, regardless what you think about the show in this day and age, I still think the fact that Lee Corso has been able to do this job still at his age is very, very impressive. I have found that very impressive. What I remember the most about Lee is this was when I remember this is when I was like 14 years old. College Game Day announced they were going to Oxford, Mississippi for Ole Miss against Alabama. And at that time, Game Day had never been to Ole Miss ever in the history of the show. So keep in mind, this is already a huge, huge accomplishment, just a huge moment. We sold out the Grove. The place was a buzz. And, you know, Katy Perry's there. Everyone's losing their minds. Everyone's wanting Corso to put on the Ole Miss helmet and just like, you know, everyone's wanting him to pick. He chooses Alabama, not surprisingly so. Katie rips the, you know, if y'all all remember, she rips the I don't even know what that dang elephant's name is this day. It rips the head of the mascot off Lee, you know, and just having that moment, it's just so special. And, you know, I'm a Notre Dame fan too. And every time Lee would dress up in that dang leprechaun outfit and do that Irish dance, it just puts a smile on your face. And it's just, you know, that guy is 90 years old. And I knew there wasn't going to be a lot more time. The fact that he's 90 and he's still doing this show, it was just dang near impressive. So, and it's kind of ironic that the last game that he'll be doing, which I hope is Miami versus Notre Dame, because it would be great to just see him put that Irish gear on one last time and just see him do that dance. Lee is just one of the staples of that show. And, you know, they brought in Pat McAfee, and he's done an amazing job too and really brought life back into the show. But I don't ever think there will be somebody to replace Lee Corso and just what he's given to that show. Because I don't think without Lee, there is no College Game Day. So congratulations to Lee. And I wish nothing but the best for him. And I hope he continues to be here for a long, long time. Because, you know, he's just been a tremendous joy for all of us college football fans. And I wish nothing but the best for him. And congratulations on an amazing career, because you deserve it 1,000%, my friend.
BRF.
There are a few sports personalities that we've been blessed to witness that we can honestly say were blessings to us, were gifts to us in terms of like what they mean to us growing up watching sports. Like, you know, Lee Corso is a college football, as Dick Vitale is to college basketball, as, you know, the NFL on Fox crew is to the NFL. Same thing with John Madden and Pat Summerall. You know, just when you look at Lee Corso, just from in a standpoint as far as like his impact and his influence, I mean, just what he did for mainstream and pop culture, bringing college football out, you know, for the world to recognize, was just tremendous. I mean, if you go back to like 2000, that performance, people don't talk about his, even though it was a little cameo, he was a commentator, whatnot. He was hilarious in The Waterboy. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. He was hilarious in the water. He was hilarious in the Waterboy. That one scene where he was talking about when they slowed it down, and Adam Sandler's character Bobby Boucher was getting ready to make that tackle, and he's talking about, you can look at the pain and the anguish in his eyes. I mean, and it was just so, I mean, his performance is just underrated, even though it was a cameo. It was just so good. And the headgear and just the personality, it just, like, you just see it radiate like through the screen. And just College Game Day was like everybody's like go-to on Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. When you know you're at the house and you know you're about to watch a whole bunch of college football, you got to get up. You got to get set up properly. Nothing sets you up more properly than College Game Day and watching Chris and Kurt and Lee do their thing every Saturday morning analyzing, predicting the games, just having fun. And Lee Corso, of course, the headgear. I mean, what can you say about that man pulling out the headgear? Whether it was the Oklahoma helmet, the Ohio State, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, USC. You know, putting on the shield, putting on the gear with the little sword in his hand when he picked USC. I mean, Lee Corso is just one of those. Are just one of those people that you just have to, as being a sports fan, you got to thank God for people like that who to come into your life and impact you the way they did. You know, from an athletics / sports entertainment perspective, and you just can't say enough about the positive and tremendous impact that Lee Corso had on us watching, just enjoying being able to watch TV and watch College Game Day on a Saturday morning, knowing pretty much knowing some craziness is about to happen when you get to, like, 10 minutes till and they're getting ready to pick the games. Homeboy about to pull that headgear off. And Lee Corso, and the funny thing about him, man, he'll slip up. He'll slip up and let a couple of words out every once in a while. He's one of them now. He'll slip up and let one go. Like, he's had some funny moments where he kind of let some words go. Like, he don't hold back. And I just love and respect that. And I love that about him, just having fun and just being himself no matter what. All, just up until now. Like, I mean, he's already come out and announced August 30th. August 30th is going to be his last appearance on College Game Day, and we're gonna sit back and we're gonna watch, and we let the master do his thing for one more Saturday, and he gets to ride off in the sunset into retirement, and just hope he gets to enjoy it whatever time he still has here. Get as much out of it as you can, because College Game Day, even though it is going to move on and it's going to do great things without Lee Corso, it doesn't have the notoriety. It doesn't have the mainstream appeal. It's just the impact is not there without a guy like Lee Corso just leading it and bringing it into the mainstream pop culture. Without Lee Corso, College Game Day isn't on the level that it is. So shout out to Lee. Congratulations. Happy retirement. You deserve it. You absolutely 1,000% deserve it. And just so many moments, so many funny moments, just so many things we can go back, get on YouTube, watch some of the crazy things he's done with the headgear, whatnot, and just shout out to him.
The motorcycle.
The motorcycle. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And like one of my favorite moments too, like he coached. He was the head coach at one point, like back in the 70s for the University of Indiana.
Yeah.
And I believe they had an episode this year where they went to Bloomington, and just to see that university, give that man his flowers for what he did for that university, and, for making them winners. He wasn't there long, but one of the greatest seasons, if not the greatest season in Indiana history, obviously before last year, was Lee Corso. So I mean, he was the head coach. So to see them give him his flowers was just a beautiful thing to watch. And hopefully August 30th, that last episode, they pull out all the stops. And I mean, I know I know there's gonna be some tears shed on that set that morning. But I mean, I'm just tears of joy. Lee Corso going out on his shield, going out on his own terms. I'm blessed and happy to see it. Being able to grow up with, basically with College Game Day becoming the mainstream icon that it is today. We saw the early stages of its growth becoming what it is, and to see what it is now. I mean, it's a testament. So shout out Lee Corso, and I wish him the best in his retirement. It's very much deserved, and I know we're going to be watching August 30th, and we're just going to just show that man love one more Saturday, and it's all deserved. So shout out to Lee Corso. We wish you nothing but the best. Happy retirement, and just keep on moving and keep living life the way we know only you can.
Absolutely. And the other thing I love about Lee Corso is the same way I love about Champ, man. He doesn't take himself too seriously. And Champ's the type of person you want to like hang out with, joke around and stuff like that. That's how Lee Corso is. So he'll truly be missed. Truly be missed, man.